What's up guys, Brian coming at you from Freekanomics.com. We're going to give you a skull tutorial today. It's pretty much how to paint a basic skull. This isn't a lot of shading, this is very easy stuff. A white and a black paint is all you need. I'm using a water-based paint, but you can use a cream paint, whatever you have accessible to you, whatever's at the Halloween stores. This is what we're going to call a high contrast skull, so it's going to be a black and a white, no in between midtones or anything, so it's easy to see at night, or if you're at a party and it's real dark, it's still very visible. Alright, so let's get started. Alright, so what I've done is I whited out his face. This isn't anything special, you just throw white on their face. I noticed I didn't white out all the way around the eye because we're going to paint that black anyway, so it really doesn't matter. My recommendation is always start with white and then go to black. That way it's always easier to go from a light color to a dark color than it is a dark to a light. Alright, so white out his face. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to start right around his eye. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to draw like a big eye socket going around his eye. And this is just literally a big circle, is all it is. I'm going to hook this kind of up just a little bit to kind of give him that angry brow look, like he's upset or PO'd, if you will. And I'm going to grab a big brush to fill this out. It's always good to have different size brushes for different jobs. Big brushes are really good when you need to paint a lot really quickly. Open your eye and look up. When you go underneath your eyes, you always want to have them open their eyes and look up. As close as possible. I see a lot of people when they paint skulls, they leave this part of the eye like open and it just looks horrible. So get as close to the eye as possible. We're just good. You can close your eyes now. All I'm going to do is I'm going back in my little brush and I'm just going to kind of fill this in a little bit, take out some of these rough spots. Although when you're doing a skull it can be a little rough around the edges, depending on the skull look you're looking for. Alright, so pretty much we do an eye, not too hard. Next, we're going to do the teeth. For the teeth, all we're going to do is tilt right back just a little bit. All we're going to do is we're going to draw little lines for the teeth. Teeth are going to be on the outside. So this will give that cool appearance where if their mouth is closed, it still looks like their mouth is open, so that'd be really cool. And for the bottoms of the teeth, you can either do little triangles like that, kind of get a little hooked view, or if you want to kind of round it out, you can do that too. Me personally, symmetrical teeth are cool, even if you want to make some of them different sizes, different thicknesses, that's really cool too. But for this tutorial, like I said, this is a basic skull, so we're just going to kind of keep it pretty symmetrical right now. And then once you get those, what we're going to do is we're going to take a little more black. We're just going to paint a line right down the lip line right here. Alright, so those are the teeth. Alright, very simple, just a couple straight lines around the edges. Next up, what we're going to do is we're going to give him a cheekbone. So we're going to start from the corner, tilt sideways to your left a little bit. Start from the corner here, bring it down around, and we're just going to go right back, all the way back to his hairline. Alright, so that's going to be a basic cheekbone for the skull that we're about to create. Alright. Now, next what we're going to do is we're going to make this empty space right here where there's supposedly no teeth. Alright, so again, using my little brush, I'm just going to draw another line. And this one is going to go from, we'll start back here actually, it's going to go from here, we're going to bring it down and through, underneath, just above the jawline, and then what we're going to do is we're going to kind of hook it right up against these teeth, like this. There's a couple different ways to do the teeth. This way is my favorite for fast jobs. All you're going to do is you're just going to kind of butt it up where the teeth start right there. And then to fill it in, we just use one of my thick brushes and just paint it black. Alright, so that would be the empty matter around the teeth. Alright. Next, we're starting to start making our way up. So what we're going to do is I'm going to give him a little nose. For a nose, there's a couple different ways to do skull noses. The easiest way that I think everybody can do is it's almost like an upside down heart, almost like a spade symbol on a card. So you're going to start and you're going to come down like that, and all we're going to do is we're going to hook it right back up. And then for this case, we're doing a half skull for demonstration purposes, so I don't run over my time. Whatever we do on this side of the face, you can mirror on the other side of the face, or if you want to do a two-face type thing, this would be a perfect paint job for that, or if you want to do a burn paint job on that side, you could. Biggest thing is with a skull, what you do on one side, you do on the other side if you're trying to make a symmetrical skull. There's that. Now we're going to work up to the temple and the crown line right here. You can kind of poke around and you want to kind of feel where their temple is. His temple is about right here, okay? When in doubt, always kind of feel the skull structure of their face. That way the skeleton looks a little more natural painted on their face. So what we're going to do is for this, it's almost like an L or a J kind of coming down from the top. So we come down, we kind of hook it back. And then for this case, since we're doing a high contrast with a lot of black and white, I'm just going to fill this in. If you're really good at shading, you could kind of shade it out, meaning start darker along this line and then lighter as it goes back to the hairline. Okay, but for this case we'll be alright. Now we go into the crown. All we're going to do is we're going to take it and we're going to draw a little line and we're going to kind of hook it in just a little bit. Okay, we draw a line coming down here so you can tell kind of where it stops and starts. So we kind of got this two-face vibe to him. Okay, and now this is my next important part I want to bring to you. A lot of people, tonight's done. You can have more fun. We'll show you a couple things you do here, but the biggest thing I see people miss out on, especially when they paint faces, can you turn to the left and tilt back a little bit? You forget to draw this jawline down here. This is very important because if not, the paint has nowhere to stop and start. Okay, so all we do is we kind of bring it around and we can paint a line right underneath his jaw to kind of show where the paint job stops and starts. And what this also does, if it's dark, is it makes your jawline pop out a lot more. Okay, so that essentially is how we would paint a skull. Real basic, hitting the whites and blacks. But what we're going to do is, if you want to take this a little bit further, you can take a smaller brush, just a lot smaller, and get a little bit of black on there. If you wanted to make any cracks, like we want to kind of crack the jawline through here, kind of fill it in, make it a little bit thicker, a couple cracks coming off. You could do that as well. And this is kind of like, you're going for like a jagged skull look. This is just another cool way of kind of making your paint job look a little more different from everybody else's. So you can crack it up there. If you want to add a little bit of little checks around the eyes, kind of give like an old skull look. You could even do this if you didn't like the cracks around the jaw. If you wanted to kind of get a more of a weathered skull look, you could do this around the jawline here. I start with white out, hit the eyes, then I go for the teeth, then the jaw, the temple, the crown line, and then the nose. And then if you want to add these little cracks, or if you want to add little check marks going around, little hitch marks, you could do that. So that's pretty much how you paint a really, really basic, this is a very basic skull that anybody can paint with any paint you can find at the Halloween store. Turn sideways.